Welcome to 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming with your hosts, Taylor
and Q.
Nuclear launch detected.
90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming does not represent the views of WWSP, 90 FM, or the University of Wisconsin school system. The views expressed and the information given in this broadcast can be used at the sole risk of the listener.
Listening to this broadcast is guaranteed to increase your wisdom by 5 points.
The Enrichment Center is required to remind you that you will be baked, and then there will be cake.
Hey, listen!
Hello, and welcome to 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming here on WWSP Stevens Point.
You're on the alternative.
For gaming, yes. That's 90 FM, yada, 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 who we are. But we are, specifically us, a video game talk show.
Yes.
Hosted by me, Taylor, and
Q.
And we cover pretty much video games themselves,
game
developers, players.
Yeah, people who play video games, people who don't play video games, we sometimes cover them.
Do. But, how's it going, Kelly?
It's going all right.
All right, he is actually a staff member here, his little brother, yada, 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 cool things, but he's here to talk games with us, and Q has arrived. How are you doing, Q?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. All right, now who don't we represent, Q?
We don't represent anybody.
Anybody?
Anywhere. Anybody.
Oh,
Not
okay.
even ourselves.
That's a short list.
Yeah, we don't represent
Or a
WWSP,
long list, I guess.
90 FM, the radio station you're currently listening to. We don't represent the UW Board of Regents, UW Stevens Point. We don't represent the state of Wisconsin. I think those are the 4 we have to say.
We have to say those ones, and then we're good. All right. Awesome. Anywho, how do you want to start this show out? You are the one with all of the...
So you introduced our guests?
Yes. Yep, that was the first thing we did.
I don't really know. There's tons of awesome stories that I've got right up here right now.
Do we want to thank the dude who sent us a review and mention that?
3 people that sent us reviews.
3? 2
Mother on
Jeebus.
Facebook and 1 through the emails.
The Facebook ones are shorter, right?
They are much shorter. They talk about Dead Island.
Okay.
Did either of you play Dead Island?
No, I'm probably going to. We talked about it on Facebook.
I've seen plenty on it, but I've never actually played it.
It looks like it's probably just an interesting concept that wasn't quite delivered properly.
Well, according to the 2 reviews, I'm going to merge them 2 together because I'm not allowed to say your names either. If you do want us to say your names,
throw it on Facebook.
Tell us on Facebook. If you review another game for us, we'll say your name along with your review. But pretty much the consensus I was reading on both of your reviews was that there are glitches everywhere. Glitches completely rampant. Teleporting, corrupting, crashing your Xbox.
Jeez.
Yeah. One quote by one of the reviewers is, "You can maul through crowds of zombies flawlessly, but you get stuck on a 6-inch sandcastle slightly protruding from the beach." So, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I definitely have heard things similar. I've actually seen a couple pictures of people getting stuck on sandcastles and being
That's not
generally
really
unhappy.
too new for RPGs. I mean, like Fallout 3 in New Vegas.
It was pure glitches practically.
Yeah.
It's like more glitch than game. But I mean, at least they did get a lot of that patched for the most part with New Vegas until they made the expansions and
then
made it
all of
glitchy
them
again.
broke
Yeah. We got it all fixed. Okay, here's some more game. Oh, now it's all broken.
Yeah. And another point they were making, it's very playable. It's a lot of fun. A lot of very fun cooperative moments aside from the obvious glitches. One of the reviews states that if he's heard many widely different opinions of the game, but his opinion is a lukewarm one. The reviews for the game of these 2 are quite low, actually.
Yeah, they were, I think, high 60s to low 70, right?
I believe one of them is a 63.765 out of 100, and the other is a 73.285 out of 111.
So do you want to average that? I don't have a calculator, so I'm not going to average the decimals.
The average is going to be around 70.
Yeah. No, probably like 68 or so.
Yeah.
But yes, those reviews, and then we also got one through the email, and we don't have a number on this one. So
there was no number, and you've got that one in front of you. So if you want to read some of the points we're talking about,
do.
Human
Human Revolution.
Duex.
I call it
Deus.
Deus.
It's
Yeah.
Deus.
Deus?
Deus Ex.
But I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think we're
Latin's
all
weird.
pronouncing it right.
Because I know also they use the same word in Deus Ex
If you
Machina.
know what game we're
which-
talking about, there you go. If you don't
Yes.
know what game we're talking
Human
about,
Revolution.
Yeah.
Yes, the
It's
the
a
Square Enix game that got advertised
brand new
a lot
game.
a couple weeks
brand
ago.
new.
But it starts off with a compliment to UQ, saying
Oh.
the website's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
so congratulations, Q.
If you were not knowing what website we're talking about 90fm.org.
Yes,
Um,
a beautiful website indeed.
yes, I'm
Um,
working on it. It's being built as you look at it.
Yes, and also a very good idea for us to make a standardized like scoring sheet like that we could have on the website or something, where people can go on and put scores in there, which is an awesome idea. If you're listening and you sent this, you know who you are.
And
We
if
can't
you
really
are,
say it.
and also to the two other people who put reviews on Facebook, if you made your reviews just a little bit bigger, put a little more in depth, talk about yourself, you also may be
On the website, right?
on our website, and maybe even published in the Pointer here, the UWSP Stevens Point newspaper. So both of those. So if you really, really want to get your word out there on, hey, I love this game, even an older game, review whatever games you want, put them on our Facebook page. If you want to put them
Yes.
on our Facebook page, you can. And they may or may not get into the Pointer. That's not really me or Taylor's decision in any way.
Yeah, no, that's up to the Pointer, but we're collaborating with them. It's looking good about that at least. But the actual review starts off with the first line, I didn't find Deus Ex fun, which is a very unpopular opinion so far. People have been raving about Deus Ex for the most part. Everyone has been saying it's great. And then he also follows up by saying that he was trying to go through and get the achievement for not killing anyone, just knocking them all out, going stealth mode, and he did not get that. So, we're sorry. But the main complaints it seems like he's talking about is, like, I don't know. He said the sneak became absurdly easy. Like, he said he played the old ones, the first Deus Ex. I don't know if he played, what's it called, Deus Ex, the second one. It was
War.
Invisible War, which is apparently a horrible game. So I hope you didn't play it. If you did, I apologize. And then he picked up this one as well, and he said that the whole time he'd been doing sneak, but in this game that it was a little bit different. It was very easy. He said he never had too much trouble, and then he eventually picked up some augmentation, which is like the core of the game, where because you are a security guard who dies and is augmented to have a basically cybernetic body. And he got one, I guess, that makes him knock out two people at the exact same time, which sounds like it'd make sneaking almost unnecessary. And then he said the entire game seemed to lack difficulty for the most part, it seemed like, and he didn't find anything interesting because of that. And especially, he said, by not using the weapon, by doing stealth the whole time, that the variety of weapons was totally lost on that, and so that mode through the game was a little bit disappointing, which is understandable to me. And, let's see. He said the bosses were relatively difficult. The first one was really hard, and then they got easier. But we have no numerical review. It sounds like, I would assume, probably like 60-ish? I don't know.
A little better than that, in the 70s.
I don't know.
It's a C.
When
It
the
seemed like a
first
C to me.
line is, I did not find Deus Ex fun, and then another line is, I wasn't too interested, I didn't find much interesting. It sounds like a relatively negative review.
But in the end, he says that there's a lot of cool concepts in the game,
Yeah.
so that could boost it up.
He himself says he can't really tell if this is a good game or not. It has neat features, but he did not enjoy it, so it could just be a case of it not being for somebody, but I think that would be exactly when a low score would be brought out. So, I don't know. We can't score for you.
If
I'll probably try to play this game
if
once
you're
it's
out
cheap.
there listening, the fellow who sent us this review, you can send us your grade on the 90 Terabytes Alternative Gaming Facebook page.
And we'll try to get up the standardized thing if we can think of how to do it.
Yeah, that's up to him, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we cannot command.
We cannot command anyone.
I have a friend who played that game, and he said the boss fights were pretty terrible.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Apparently, I just read this, they were outsourced. They were actually done by another company.
Oh, really?
They did everything but the boss fights, and then had someone step in and be like, oh yeah, we'll make some bosses for you.
He said he had like a stealth-type profile, and he had like no ammo because of that. He only had tranq rounds.
And
so,
you just couldn't do anything to the
he
bosses?
couldn't
Yeah,
do
I had a
anything.
friend who said that when he tried to do the first boss, he didn't know that he just couldn't kill him. He actually physically just could not kill him.
Yeah. If you played Uncharted 2, I'm pretty sure the first boss is kind of like that, the final boss of Uncharted 2, where you just have to like throw explodey barrels or something like that at him.
Explodey barrels, the ever-present weapon in every game ever.
Especially Half-Life 2.
Yes.
Apparently, they're lay on the streets everywhere too.
I know, yeah, and every single company
And
has
they're
a
always
large
labeled.
stock of them.
If
Yes.
you walk through downtown Stevens Point recently, they're just right in the corner.
Just sitting on the corner.
They will be soon when they're full of sand.
Fair.
But,
Day-X, mixed review.
Day-X Human Revolution was released, I believe, August 23rd.
23rd, so like
23rd.
4 weeks ago, I guess.
And, yeah.
Yes. So thank you for that review, by the way. That's
Yes,
awesome.
thank you.
If
All
you
three
guys are enjoying
reviewers.
that, and if you desire to keep doing that, then we are A-okay with it. We greatly enjoy seeing your guys' opinion. Would you like to do a story, or do we want to talk about what we just wasted like 30 minutes on?
Oh, you mean the Flash game?
Yeah,
the
before
Flash
the show,
game of
yeah.
the month.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got an underbed for Flash game of the month.
Oh, do we?
Let's
hear it.
I'm going to use the Zelda.
I'm excited for this now.
Well, you can't hear it
Oh, you're right. I can't.
because there's no speakers in here.
You have to listen to it later.
But I hear
Yeah.
it. You'll get to listen to it later.
Okay.
Yes, Flash game of the month.
Whoa!
We're using this as an underbed, and I think you out there in the listening world absolutely love it if you have any idea what it is.
Best
and
song
you
ever.
two don't, which is even
I
better.
love this song. What are you talking about? I love silence. But no, the game this week is called Burrito Bison, and it was the most
Bison.
ridiculous thing I've played in a while. If you ever played games like, I can say this on air, I guess it's not implicitly violent, but it was, or explicitly, but Kitten Cannon, things like that, all those games where you had to launch yourself out and hit stuff to keep yourself going, it's basically like that, except you're a bison, a bison-themed luchador, actually, sorry, who goes into some random store trying to buy some, what are they called? Burritos, yes, burritos. And,
The title's
I know, exactly. And gets sucked into Candy World, and then you get put in some wrestling match against a giant jawbreaker. So then you have to launch yourself out and kill gummy bears for a while. But it was pretty well done, I thought. Q played it for a while,
Yes,
too.
it was. I absolutely loved it. If you're looking for a free Flash game, if you want to, you can just type right into Google Burrito Bison.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like with a lot of those, you pick up upgrades, and they're all just crazy. Like, you do body slams using rocket launchers, or not rockets, like rockets on your hips that you just fire, and you fly down because of it.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
You will have... Wait, I can't say that either. That's technically a call to action.
It's intense.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's
no,
very fun.
That's a call to
It's intense? It's not a call to...
No, it's fun.
Oh, it is fun? That's not a call to action.
Well, it's the things we can't say.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
It's
I
not...
don't
I can't say it's not fun either, then, I guess. We're shackled so hard. But, no, it's pretty cool. The music's pretty over the top. Very similar to, like, Castle Crashers and stuff like that, I guess, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a Flash
say
game.
that.
There's only so much we can say. Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
both had a ton of fun with it.
Yeah, we both played, I believe, about 45 minutes of just this Flash game, and I don't think either of us made it anywhere near the end of the game.
No. I got through like 3 zones through an undetermined number of zones.
It's still open on the computer out in the main office.
Yep.
So I will
I'll beat it. I'll beat it.
Did you close yours too?
No. I minimized it.
Okay.
But yeah. No, it'll be played as soon as the show is over.
As soon as it's over. There are other things we have to do right after this show also. But we have lots of other awesome things to talk about. We can go right into Minecraft corner.
Do we wish to?
We can.
Okay.
Do you play Minecraft, sir?
I played a bit of it.
You played a bit of it. Describe the extent of which you have
The
played
trial
it.
version. And I've seen
Oh.
a friend just build stuff nonstop. But he
Yeah.
always used like a hacked version of it, so then he could just...
Oh, are
Play
you talking about
pieces.
creative mode, you mean? That's not a hacked version. That's just part of the game. There's a mode of the game where you can actually just have an infinite amount of all the blocks and then fly around and build whatever you want.
Oh, I was
'Cause
unaware of that.
Oh, yeah, it's creative versus survival modes.
Yeah,
Because some
but-
people just like building things.
Yeah. And eventually there'll be adventure mode and capture the flag mode.
Capture the Flag's gonna be weird in that. I'm hoping it's really fun, but
I'm
I don't
thinking
know.
it will be.
Yeah,
Notch won't add it if it's not fun.
I guess.
They're going to have to change the combat up a little bit.
They did for 1.8 actually.
Oh,
yeah, right.
Bows are very different. You can't just spam bows like crazy. If you pull it back for like I think it's a second, then you get a fully charged shot, which does extra damage. And
All right.
they haven't really fixed the whole melee thing, so you just click like crazy when you're trying to use a sword. All it is swing it as fast as your finger can go. But I mean, they definitely did make the combat better with the bow at least, and by making you have a reason to kill things other than the items they drop. Except the experience does nothing.
They're thinking maybe tomorrow will be the update for
The next one?
1.9.
Is it 1.9 or is it still
yeah.
1.8 like
No,
point
it'll-
something?
it'll be
Okay.
1.9. So I think Notch was saying they were going to start hammering out stuff since there's no more legal problems and all these other weird little things that were hindering them from doing things.
Whatever came of the legal stuff with like
He hasn't said the lawyers are lawyering.
the lawyers are lawyering. Okay, all right.
But there's lots of awesome new things. If you don't want a spoiler for the patch, maybe tomorrow, don't listen to this next 30 seconds of me going through the list. It'll be the Nether update, the second part of the adventure update. This is basically will feature all new things that we haven't seen before, even from PAX. Things like in the Nether, there'll be bricks, there'll be fences, ruins, two new mobs that are inside the Nether, new biomes, snows, swamps that are much more swampier.
Yes. Aren't they going to have vines coming down over the trees and all that?
Yeah. Well, they already have that, but they're just not really. Yeah. It doesn't really have the ambiance like
game's
a fog
not
and stuff.
complete until it has a swampier swamp.
Yeah. It'll have mushroom biomes, which will be gigantic, huge mushrooms.
Which I'm really excited for. Those look crazy.
Cows that are made of mushrooms.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's new.
New grasses, lots and lots of new sound effects. Thanks to, I believe, probably C418 or the other sound guy, which I can't remember his name. So if you're listening right now in Sweden, I'm very sorry. New Minecraft sounds, cheer sounds, bow sounds, new sounds for slimes, rain.
Does that mean I'm ever going to actually
changes.
see a slime?
You've never seen one?
No, I've looked forever for slimes, and I've never found a dang slime.
New sounds to make them more skeleton-y. Actually, quotes. New skeleton sounds to make them more skeleton-y. 6 new mobs. NPCs, obviously. Snowmen. That'll be nice on your side, but they throw snowballs at enemies. So
which is cool.
If you want them to be very, very mean to a bunch of creepers, you can you can actually make a bunch of snowmen.
You construct the snowmen?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that sounds very cool.
So
that's
if
a
you
cool
put them
feature.
into the
We
desert,
make a
they
snowman
melt.
army. Really?
Yep. They're actually
Do they melt off all snow things? Is that the idea,
and
or is
lava
it?
and stuff if they're
Okay.
near it.
Okay.
I mean, probably not even that close. I suppose you can probably. I don't know.
We'll see.
Because
Really,
now,
I mean.
now the game actually knows which biome you're in.
Yeah.
So if you layer a whole bunch of dirt over,
And the new biomes are crazy. He
They're
did so
huge.
well. Yeah, they're massive. Like one of mine, I started out on this random island chain right in the middle of the ocean. I have not found my way out of that ocean yet. I have survived in that ocean on random little islands for quite a while. It's pretty cool. I like actually how far he's gone with that.
Animal breeding, lots of new strongholds. They had increased it from 1 to 3, and now they're increasing it from 3 to unlimited.
Unlimited permit.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they are adding bosses to the strongholds.
Whoa, that'll be awesome.
They are adding they're completely eliminating the old armor system and making a brand new armor system.
Okay, just because if you made diamond armor, you were invincible before.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's pretty much it. That's the Minecraft update. The Minecraft update to the update. Minecraft update.
Minecraft corner update.
Well, it's an update on the update.
I guess, yeah.
So update. I don't know. Dragging on.
The Minecraft meta update.
Yes. There are tons of awesome stories we can talk about. Any specific ones that either of you would like to talk about after the Minecraft update that actually only lasted 5 minutes long?
Yeah, that was a very short Minecraft corner. But I don't know if you have it open over there, but a lot of people, I'm sure, are very excited about this. We actually finally got a date for the Battlefield 3 beta.
I do have it open over here.
Yes, I think it was September 29th.
The date for you is September 29th. The date that will be much awaited for the open beta for Battlefield 3 will be September 29th.
Yes.
It will last until October 10th. So if you pre-ordered Battlefield 3, make sure if you wanted to, obviously this is purely up to you, put in Origin
Yeah.
for the PC, and then you will get the beta. The Origin is used exclusively for the beta installation, and therefore necessary to play.
Yeah, I'd like to add something. I think the beta will probably be fun. I mean, it seems like Battlefield
I'll
games are
probably
always
try
fun.
it.
But I
If
dislike
I
it
fix my
when they
computer.
have betas that are so close to the release date.
Well, yeah, we were
'Cause it's not an actual
discussing
beta.
this. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
demo.
it's
It's
a
all it
demo.
really is. Yeah, it's a
But they
demo,
call it
and they might
beta
change
to
a
make
few
people,
things.
People think, oh, geez, it's a
Yeah.
beta. I'm in it. Cool.
Well, the nice thing
I'm
is they do
helping
change a
out.
little bit. Like I know between the Halo Reach beta or quote unquote beta and the actual final, they did change a few things just for balance. But those are things that kind of get changed post release, anyways.
And the
So,
Halo Reach beta was like a
It was-
few months. It was like
it was huge. Yeah, it was basically like having the game out for a while.
it was a few months though before the actual release date. This
Yeah.
one's like
You can't
Well-
have a bad computer to play this game.
No, the even the the suggested requirements
The
are
minimum
insane.
are DirectX 10.
Holy cow!
So if you own a computer that was designed with Windows XP, you're pretty much done. You can't play this game. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
that's a good sign for the advancement of computer gaming, but
Yes.
for the average computer gamer,
that's unpleasant.
yeah, it's quite unpleasant.
That's very well.
I do fit into the recommended, actually the above recommended category. I'm almost near Ultra,
Whoa.
but my motherboard's broken, so right now I'm at 0.
Ultra would be, I'm assuming, pretty much real life in that
I
game.
got a
Frostbite looks
6-core
nuts.
processor.
Jeez.
I think the average computer gamer, though, definitely wants their computer to be top-notch anyways. So I
Yeah.
don't think this will
Honestly, games like this pretty
affect
much
them.
just drive people to buy better computers,
Yeah.
which is nice for the computer industry, I guess, then.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yes. All right.
Yes. The next little thing, this won't actually open for me. It's not going to actually open for me. You need 20 gigabytes of hard drive space. This is one thing I wanted to talk about a while ago.
How big games have gotten?
How big games have gotten, because the Star Wars installation, I'm going to break the NDA once again. I think it got up to 40.
Jeez. Just after all the patches they were setting out, or?
No, that was the download I actually downloaded.
Wow. That is
it was
ridiculous.
about 40 gigabytes worth of space. Now, I mean, you take for instance, I'm pretty sure that Doom back in the old days was, hold on, size. Oh, it's not gonna tell me. That's sad. Thanks, internet.
You could just do your average Super Nintendo game, which is like 4 megabytes.
Yeah. These games were extremely tiny.
Just absolutely tiny, yeah.
And now you're adding these graphics in that essentially emulate real life in half or more. It's outrageous. 20 gigabytes for this game. The recommended, the minimum is Windows Vista. You cannot play it with Windows XP. The recommended is Windows 7 64-bit with a quad-core processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 20 gigabytes of hard drive space, a DirectX 11 compatible card, and a keyboard and a mouse.
You need a keyboard and a mouse?
DVD ROM drive. And a sound card. Who knew?
That was the deal breaker for me right there, actually. The sound card just.
A mouse
yeah.
and a keyboard.
Oh.
But the minimum requirements are 2 gigs of RAM, 20 gigabytes of hard drive space, and 10.0 DirectX.
So you're not playing on your laptop.
No, I've seen some laptops that have some of this stuff.
Larry Perez, you're not playing this on your laptop unless it costs a house.
A very nice house. Yeah, we've talked so much about Battlefield 3. There's pretty much nothing more we can talk about.
Yeah, at this point, it's just all waiting. Like, I think everybody's hyped themselves out on these games.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything left to hype about.
There's going to be a bunch of guns that I don't know.
Yeah, and some of them may or may not be like their actual guns in real life.
They'll probably shoot bullets.
Oh,
That's what
wow.
I heard.
I hope they have that feature.
I hope that features in both Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Yeah.
Shooting
I hate a
bullets.
shooter when they take out the bullets. It always gets so lame. It's just a melee fest.
Homefront. We never talked about this game because it was supposedly supposed to
It was
suck
pretty subpar.
bad.
Yeah.
But isn't Crytek taking over on it now?
Yes. The news story is Crytek, the people who make Crysis 1 and Crysis 2, and I think maybe
Far Cry.
Yep. Are going to be making Homefront 2 because the developers that made Homefront 1 didn't do well and didn't make any money, so naturally they closed, and they were called Chaos Studios. THQ thought about taking it up, but they didn't because it was massively disappointing.
Yeah, no, I did not hear anybody say that game was awesome. Like, not a single person was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go home and play Homefront."
If you
I'm so
out
excited.
there in the listening world are listening to us, this is 90 Terabytes Alternative Gaming, and if you think we're totally wrong and you played Homefront for any of the consoles or the computer, yell at us on our Facebook page.
Yes, we can do that.
What seems weird though about that is even though Homefront got pretty low reviews, it sold quite a bit, didn't it? At least...
Well, they advertised a lot.
They advertised a lot, and I think that's why they went out of business because they ran out of money.
They expected it to sell like a Call of Duty type title. Or
Yeah,
something.
well, I mean, it basically was. It wasn't quite a Call of Duty clone, but it was in that vein.
Gonna make you make the North Koreans attack Washington.
Yeah, it was the new Red Scare game.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Whoa.
What?
Make a Red Dawn video game. That'd be awesome.
Just
You guys
shooting
ever
at
play
helicopters.
Freedom Fighters?
Yes,
you mean
that
the
was-
That's
PlayStation
a
game?
Great game.
Yeah.
That
game was
a
crazy.
great
I
game.
wanted a sequel for that for so long, but I don't think it's ever gonna come out.
I think that was on the first demo disc I ever got, actually, if
really?
I remember right. Yeah, except it was like one of the weird ones where you had to like push 3 buttons to actually play it. It was strange.
IO Interactive, published by Electronic Arts. We're talking about Freedom Fighters for the PlayStation 2, the Nintendo GameCube, the Xbox, and Microsoft Windows, actually. They made Hitman, so it's IO, so I mean, they make a lot of games.
The Hitman games are huge.
Yeah, I enjoyed those ones a lot, too.
Yeah. You know, I heard Blood Money was pretty amazing.
It is still on IO's list of games to make. On their to-do list. The sequel to it, they made the new Kane and Lynch game first.
Which was so much better, really. I mean, Kane and Lynch was such a great game.
That's sarcasm.
Yeah, no. I remember when, I think it was Game Informer, just had their entire front page as nothing but advertising for that game. And then I think they were the only good review for it.
Gave it a 66.
Yep. What did Game Informer give them? I want to know.
Game Informer is not listed on here.
I want to see if they just got totally bought for it.
We'll find out.
You just going to Metacritic?
We're wasting time. People are listening to us.
Totally wasting time. All right.
PC Gamer gave it a 58 out of 100.
That's pretty bad.
That's brutal.
So, yeah.
Way better than if we would have gotten a sequel to Freedom Fighters, really.
So, we don't really have a topic really to talk about, which makes me feel sad.
Well, we're at the middle. We can do our break real quick here and then come back with a bunch of stuff to do.
We can do that. We'll talk about Diablo 3, the World of Warcraft patch. We'll talk about World of Warcraft as a whole and what's happening with that, because there's lots of stories relating around that. Diablo 3, I just mentioned that we were going to talk about it. PlayStation Vita, we'll talk about that. And some other really cool ideas for video games, and then talk about our sponsors and etc.
Yes.
So, yes. What song would you like me to play?
What song? You should grab the Veronica Falls album. And we will hear that.
The first song right off the album?
Sure. That'll do.
Okay. You are listening to 90 terabytes of alternative gaming here on 90
We should also probably
FM.
apologize for not having we don't have the musical portion, the musical game portion of our show today.
Like we did last week, we had a musical game portion, and we gave away a gift card to Amazon. And lots of people called in. I think we had 5 or 6 guesses total. And the second guess was correct. The other ones were not.
They were not, yes. He was the only one who got it right, actually.
There were lots of very good guesses.
Yes.
Lots of them that we listened to afterwards and I'm like, I could have came to that illusion. But they were wrong, sadly. But next week we will hopefully have our segment of winning prizes in the middle of 90 terabytes of alternative
everybody
gaming.
loves prizes.
Everybody loves prizes.
When you want listeners, bribe them to listen to you.
Yeah. You're listening to WWSP, Stevens Point. This is 90 FM, your only alternative.
For gaming.
Yeah. So here is Veronica Falls off their self-titled album with their song Found Love in a Graveyard. Here on 90 FM, your only alternative.
Still for gaming.
90 terabytes of alternative gaming is brought to you by
The Tech Lounge, offering the world's best next generation and retro game systems, along with great tasting Fairtrades coffee, espresso, jet smoothies, and energy drinks. Open Tuesday through Saturday, noon to midnight, Sunday, 2 p.m. till 10, and closed on Monday.
Located at 1036 Main Street in downtown Stevens Point.
Visit them at the web at www.techloungesp.com. The Tech Lounge, where the future is yesterday.
It's a modern age arcade.
90 terabytes of alternative gaming is brought to you by Gaming Generations in Stevens Point, located at 135 Division Street behind McDonald's and Perkins. Phone number 715-254-9990.
Gaming Generations features new releases, great used titles, your favorite classics, and the know-how to get your console up and running again.
That's Gaming Generations in Stevens Point, your source for gaming.
90 terabytes of alternative gaming does not represent the views of WWSP, 90 FM, or the University of Wisconsin school system. The views expressed and the information given in this broadcast can be used at the sole risk of the listener.
I mean, let's face it, the opinion of these two guys is about as pristine as Wikipedia. After all, their source is the internet. And now, back to the show. Fight.
Hello, welcome back to 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming with me, Taylor, and my co-host Q, along with our guest this week, Kelly, our former winner of the... We need to think of a name for that because I don't know how to describe it properly. Yeah,
our sponsors will sponsor it.
Oh, awesome! Yes, it can be like Tech Lounges something. I still don't have a name for it though, so that's
I don't know.
Music of the week.
Game music of the week. No, whatever. We'll think of it
come
after.
up with it later.
Yes, we're going on a Blizzard bender, aren't we?
Oh, we'll talk about Tech Lounge's
oh yes, the thing we're gonna go do.
challenges.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
We're going to talk about last month's challenge. Last month they had on Catherine single player challenge for Alter. And we'll be talking about Catherine here in a little bit. We have a review of Catherine. And we this month the challenge at Tech Lounge, which is right downtown, as we mentioned in the CDA that you heard just probably a minute ago.
Yeah.
This September challenge is Call of Duty Black Ops, the 2-player challenge. You play on the moon. I believe it's whoever can last the longest.
It's the newest zombie map, I guess.
The highest score point.
Highest score.
Which is essentially who can last the longest.
Yeah, I mean, who kills more zombies gets higher score.
Yeah, so...
Or we can just stab
That's
everything.
the September challenge. You still have 10 days to do that at Tech Lounge.
And we plan on having a score if you want to prove that you can beat the people who blabber about video games all day.
Yeah, we talk about video
if that's a
games,
personal victory for you, go for it.
Our job is to talk about video games, and if you personally want to beat us, please be our guests. That'd be quite cool.
Just walk away with a small victory for yourself.
We'll be at Tech Lounge after the show. That's where we're going to go. And
if you want to see our faces.
If you want, we're going to try to beat it. The people who are in lead, but we probably won't.
There's a very small chance, but we're going to try valiantly.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Catherine, and then we'll go talking about all the Blizzard awesome games that are going to be coming out here very soon. So, Catherine, take it away.
Oh, Catherine is a very Asian-looking game just to start out.
It's very Japanese.
Yeah, I don't want to really give it the number review when I'm finished. Just see if it's right for you. It's like if you're into anime or something like that, you'd probably be more invested in the story than, say, if you're into like games that are more
Gears of War.
Yeah, more of Western.
It has probably very few similarities to Gears of War.
It's pretty close. No, it's not. For the majority of the game, you're actually just trying to climb up a tower, it's more of like a puzzle game than anything else. You have to push blocks, and as you slowly get higher up in the tower, the blocks get more intricate. There's like ice blocks and there's spike blocks that come at you, and it just makes the puzzles more interesting. Overall, the puzzle kind of gameplay, I thought, it felt kind of like it could be fitted into like an arcade game or like a summer arcade game you find on like Xbox Live or something like that.
Yeah.
But it also has the story aspects to it that make it, especially if you're into anime or something like that, it adds so much more to the game. And you can actually it's got that choice thing that everyone's trying to do in games nowadays.
Yeah, they're pretty much all the Atlas games are very big on like having a huge amount of choice left in the game.
Yeah. So there's like actually 8 different endings, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And then like outside the puzzle thing, it's basically like a social sim, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much like, I don't want to really compare it to Persona because it's quite different. You just pretty much, you sit at the bar with all of your friends and you text like which girl you pretty much want, and you figure out how you want to text her. You can kind of sort that out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I guess the central story of the game, I guess, has to do with like a dude with some like he has a girlfriend named Catherine and meets another chick named Catherine.
Yeah, he names another girl named Catherine, and they end up in the bed together, and you don't quite remember how it happened. So it's a tricky predicament that he's in.
Yeah, no, like I don't know. I'm not sure if I would play it honestly, but it looked interesting, definitely, to say the least.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's like what it's described as is an adult-oriented horror puzzle platformer adventure game.
Let's throw a few more hyphens in there.
Developed obviously by Atlas, as we said a little bit ago, it's very anime type, but the puzzle platforming thing kind of adds something very new that I don't think I've seen really.
Yeah, I haven't seen any puzzle games like it before.
Is it kind of, especially for lack of a better term, adult-oriented puzzle game?
Yeah, yeah, that's a very rare thing.
I don't think I've ever seen another adult-oriented puzzle game. Naturally, it's rated M for mature.
Though supposedly there's no like absurdly M-rated things in there.
It'd be
It's
rated
mostly
AO.
language. Yeah.
If it was something
Yeah,
bad,
there's
it would
no
be-
nudity
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming it's pretty similar to Persona. It's just because they're incredibly violent. I would assume.
There's
that's
some,
how.
yeah, that's definitely in there.
Yeah, no, they like their violence at
There's
Atlas.
a baby chasing you for like a few times, and I think one of the times he has a chainsaw, so not the
So then
safest
you got the- you got
combination.
the-
Dreaded baby with a chainsaw.
Yeah. So you don't actually want to review it.
Well, I don't really like giving out number reviews, but you can tell by just listening to this if the game is for you. Because yeah, this game is not going to be for everyone. I'm just gonna say that. I mean, one, it's like a puzzle game that feels really old school with
A
yeah, and
horror
also
puzzle platformer adventure game.
I also want to state that the controls can be pretty iffy. Even
Yeah.
if you do enjoy the game, the
Just not
controls like
responsive,
if
or-
you go if you go behind the blocks. If you've seen any gameplay of this, you'd know what I'm talking about.
I've seen like 2 seconds of the puzzle.
Well, that's good enough. If you go behind the blocks, your controls get reversed, so you often get stuck and you really don't know what to
Oh.
do. And there are other problems with the controls, but I would highly recommend the game if they're to anyone who actually doesn't care, or is interested in kind of like an anime type story thing.
Yeah.
But I think that's an important aspect for you to enjoy this game.
Well, I mean, most of Atlas's games are much more Japan-oriented. Even their
Yeah.
games that aren't made, like, with Catherine, it's like, it's not cel-shaded quite. I think it might be. Is it cel-shading?
It's cell shaded.
Yeah, it's cel-shading, and it's done that way so that the game itself looks anime-ish. And they did that with Persona. But also, like, even their games where they don't do that, like Demon Souls, which is just the most legendarily hard game ever,
Yeah.
it had none of that to it, but it was still a much bigger game in Japan than it was in America, just because I think of their marketing strategies. I don't know what it is. I think they just make games that are bigger there. They don't make first-person shooters, and they don't make third-person, like, action games all the time, so...
Yeah.
You have to make your selection where you're going to sell based on the genre.
Well, the reviews for most everybody anywhere range from a 9 to a 7. So it's pretty much, like as you said, whoever, if you like the idea of
Yeah.
the game, you're going to give it a good grade. If you don't like it, then you're going to give it a lower grade. Most of the people were praising or criticizing the game's difficulty, as you had said.
Yeah, see, the thing I had is I played Demon Souls quite a bit,
Yeah,
and that's a harder game.
It's
because-
unforgiving, yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard. Like I must have put like 200 hours into that game. So
Plus, that's another thing with Atlas. They love their difficulty. Like the Persona games, like if you played the really hard difficulties, they would get just insane sometimes. Like they would just turn into games where you would have to like grind your way to the maximum level like halfway through, and even then you're just gonna get your butt kicked.
yeah, but Catherine's difficulty wasn't really too bad because you died quite frequently. But when you did die, the checkpoints are pretty evenly spaced out.
Yeah,
so it's not really too much.
relatively
of a
small
problem.
penalty on death.
Yeah. For the most part, there's like 1 or 2 spots in the game where the checkpoints seem pretty far away, but I didn't have too much problems with that.
Says that Atlas, for the Japanese release, most of the Japanese reviewers were claiming the game was too difficult, so they released a patch, which was the first English version, that they included a super easy mode.
Oh yeah, well see, there's actually like you can push blocks and you can push them into places where you would
You're
not
doomed.
be able to. Yeah, you would not be able to just beat the rest of the game, so you'd have to like retry. But they have an undo
So you push a
button.
block and then you can never finish the game?
Well, you can't finish it. You'd have to like kill yourself or something, or you'd have to wait.
Which, from what I've seen of the puzzle, it seems pretty easy to die.
It's
So, I mean,
pretty
yeah,
easy
it's-
to push a block into a place that you don't want to do it to.
Yeah.
Because the controls are also a little messed up, and sometimes you just push without thinking. But in the American or like Western version, they have an undo button, which is very useful, and I don't know how they could do it without in Japan, but I'm pretty sure that's what they added. And yeah, that's very helpful. I think that's why it was viewed as much harder in
Yeah,
Japan.
that would make sense.
Yep, the top of the Japanese charts, 140,000 copies were sold over the first weekend. And then America, it sold 78,000 copies over the first weekend. So it's a big launch. I mean, especially for not the biggest developer.
Yeah,
Atlas
Atlas has kind of gotten a cult following almost,
a
I would say.
medium developer
Yeah.
sized.
Atlas, I heard, was actually surprised by how much it sold here, though.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't
they
like
weren't expecting it.
a
to
lot.
sell that
I know
well.
a lot of people in America who really like Demon Souls, actually.
Yeah.
And I think that got their name out a lot. But also, I mean, just everybody who was like interested in that scene all played Persona. So I mean,
Yeah, I think it's more for like the Persona type people.
yeah.
So you don't want to give it a grade.
No, just pretty much if you like what you're hearing about the game, then go out and buy it. But it's too much like I can't really I personally loved it, but you may have a way different opinion than I do.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how anything goes when you're trying to deal with a game that's straddling two markets.
Yeah, and when it's that different from everything else out there too.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, do you talk about Blizzard? We got 15 minutes left here.
We're going to talk about Blizzard because
Blizzard doing a lot of things.
Diablo 3, the beta was just brought out
Yesterday?
We talked
right?
2 or 3 days ago.
2 or 3 days ago. Okay.
We've talked about Diablo 3 a couple times on our show. Did you play any of the Diablo games?
I haven't.
Have you played any Blizzard games?
Not really. I'm not a huge Blizzard fan.
Okay.
How dare
you? How dare you? I played World of Warcraft for about 4.5 years of my life.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good chunk.
Yeah, it was a good chunk. I almost had a year of playing time.
That's what WoW does.
Yeah, that's what WoW does. I do miss it, sadly. But I've been WoW free for 9 months.
Very nice.
9 months.
It's like you stopped smoking or something like that. Canceled the addiction.
I even had like
$15 a month.
Yeah, it's
$15
expensive.
a month. Yeah. But this time around they're adding another patch, patch 4.3.
Is this the panda one or whatever?
No, that'd be the next expansion.
Okay, all right.
That's the next expansion. But they're limiting the amount of time. They're like nerfing time, like the amount of time it takes to finish something. So they're making it easier for new people to get through even the hardest level stuff.
They're just shortening everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess they figured they're probably going to lose a lot of their hardcore audience, though. So it makes sense for them to do it, I guess.
Yeah, the hardcore people have probably been playing the game for so long, they're probably.
But a
falling
lot of the
out
major
anyways.
guilds have already fallen out.
Yeah.
I quit around the time when a couple major guilds were just saying, "Nah, we're done with this," and then I know basically right after the second expansion came out, which would have been the Wrath of the Lich King. Yeah, a lot.
When was that? Was that like 07?
No, Wrath of the Lich King was 2009, I believe.
It was 09?
'Cause
Okay.
I was in college, I think. But
Boy, where would we be without the internet, honestly?
Yeah, I have no idea. We'd have to actually write this show out.
Oh my
It
gosh.
came out in 2008, November 13th, 2008. And I know a lot of major guilds decided to just be done with that. And I know there were a lot of major guilds that quit when Burning Crusade came out, which was 2007. I know one of the major guilds, Death and Taxes, was an American guild, and they were one of the best in the entire world. All the guild members did nothing but play World of Warcraft. I don't think they stepped outside. If they did step outside,
So naturally
they
they all
computer
had
with them.
girlfriends, right?
My girlfriend plays World of Warcraft.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the elitism thing was a big thing for me when I quit that game.
Yeah.
They started taking away things that made us feel that we were better than everybody else.
Yeah.
And it may or may not have helped all the little people who didn't think they were better.
I would
than
say
everybody else.
in terms of on Blizzard's side of it, that's a good move though, because I mean, it's sacrificing the few for the many in that case.
Yeah, trying to get new people is always a good idea.
Well, yeah, and they did, and then they went up to about 14, 15 million subscribers, and then we've lost almost 1 million this year already.
Yeah.
But I think they've gotten what they wanted out of that
yeah,
game
I
already.
think, they got enough money out of that game. I don't
They could
think
honestly
feel
just
too
drop
bad.
it now if they really wanted to.
They just end
well,
it.
they did it. They have told us about Project Titan. They haven't told us anything about it. They told us that Project Titan exists.
They're holding their hand for now.
And that's going to be the next, whatever.
Once
MMO
everybody's
from
done with all their current hype, they're just gonna bust open the doors
Will it be
with
a
their
new
next
IP?
plan.
Will it be the next World of Warcraft? Will it be World of Warcraft 2?
Haven't they said it won't be a World of Warcraft thing?
They've lied to us before.
Fair enough.
I don't think they're gonna jump out straight with World of Warcraft 2 right away. That'll probably come out like a few years later when people are like super hyped up because they remembered all the good times they had with the first one.
I guess, yeah.
Good times. Good times. Oh, man. I remember waiting months to kill one thing. No, not good times.
Yeah,
Actually,
but you'll remember it more fondly.
It was incredibly fun, and I miss all those people a ton. And then maybe even one or two of them is listening to me right now. It's completely plausible because I've told them that I have a radio show.
All right, so what about Diablo 3, by the way? We totally got sidetracked.
Well, I said we were talking about Blizzard games.
Yes, that's true. We have done our Blizzard bender so far.
I closed the link.
You closed it?
I closed
Oh,
the
my
link.
gosh.
That is unfortunate. Diablo 3 will be coming out very soon. They're slowly rolling out all of the, beta keys to all the people. For those of you out there in the listening world who do not have any idea what Diablo 3 is, Diablo 3 is an upcoming game from Blizzard Entertainment, who does not make a bad game. Bad game for the majority of everyone who plays it.
Yeah.
It is a dark fantasy horror themed, like action role playing, like dungeon crawling game where you make a character, you crawl through dungeons with friends, and you kill big things, and then you kill more big things, and you kill more big things, and it never stops.
Yes.
You have random generated things over that. It's a hack and slash dungeon crawler.
Still top down, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, isometric top down from the side sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
This game's been around for a very long time. Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 came out in the 1990s, back when PC gaming is still, full out trying to do everything. It's got the feel of a Gauntlet. So if you're looking for a new type of game that's like Gauntlet from the old days, that's not actually the new Gauntlets, because the new Gauntlets are not so good.
They're not so good.
Diablo 3 is going to be amazing. I can guarantee it. They wouldn't even have told us about it if they had already made a game they liked.
If someone's been waiting for another Gauntlet game, they've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, and this is a bit sort of like Gauntlet. You have an inventory, you have you wear gear, you do all this stuff,
and it's very much like a party kind of game.
Yep.
Like you have a ton of people play whenever you can.
Yep. Yeah, you can play by yourself too. There'll be artisans who make and sell things in game. As we had talked about before, there'll be an in-game auction house where you can buy and sell items for real money. So if you have no life and you want to make a bunch of money, go ahead and play Diablo 3 a million zillion hours and make a million zillion fun dollars. PvP combat has been implemented in Diablo 3, unique arenas that you can do stuff. Single player and cooperative PvP, both ranked and unranked. They haven't told us much more about that, but there's multiplayer achievements, titles. I'm probably going to get this game. Character classes are Witch Doctor, Barbarian, Wizard, Monk, Demon Hunter. So it's pretty much you're playing Gauntlet, but in a brand new, awesome format. Blizzard North is the ones who started developing it, which is obviously a subsidiary of Blizzard, because Blizzard is gigantic.
Gigantic.
Yep, the beta was just told to us on September 7th and September 20th that the closed beta had begun. So if you have your US Battle.net account and you've told them that
you're interested in doing betas, you opt in for the betas.
You may have an email. If you have an email, I would like to know. Let us know on our Facebook page.
Yes, if we have anybody out there who's playing,
if you want to let us know,
yes.
You don't have to tell us. You can leave us in the dark and make us feel sad because neither of us got one. But yeah, lots of very cool things. Lots of Dota things have come out too, and Dota is another sort of game that's kind of like this.
Yes, but it's
We'll talk more when Dota comes out.
Yeah.
But Defense of the Ancients is you play another character and you get gear, you do all this stuff, but you're not in a dungeon. You're in.
Yeah. If you want to feel for it, there's a free game called League of Legends. It's very similar. Which, if you were interested, you could go play.
Times.
Yeah.
But Diablo 3, the impressions have been from lots of people have been saying it's very cool. Not very many people have gotten beta invites, so not very many people have got to say anything. But the Diablo 3, most of them are saying it's very fun, and it's not rubbish. It's not rubbish in any way. Even some quotes from people. I had a good one a second ago. It doesn't matter. But yeah.
Yes.
Diablo 3, Warcraft.
Indeed.
Actually, there's a very good chance I'll be picking that game up. I haven't gotten super into Blizzard game in a while, but that sounds very promising.
Mm-hmm. That it does.
All right.
We'll talk about DC Universe. DC Universe is an MMO.
That's going free to play, isn't it?
Yeah, another free to play. I think we'll probably have a whole day where we just devote to free to play games.
That'd be cool.
Actually, yeah.
It's
Next
getting
week,
easier.
We're going to talk about free to play games.
You could just go down.
We
the
do
list.
that every week anyway.
I know, but we're actually going in depth and talk about which ones are better for free to play.
That'd
Team
be very
Fortress
cool.
2 wins.
There's the spoiler alert right there.
Team Fortress 2. If you ever want to play a squad shooting game where you actually have to play as a team, pick up, please, if you want to.
Yes.
If you want to pick up Team Fortress 2, it's completely free, so it's not a call to action to pick up a free game.
And if you don't want to play as a team, there's always Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's true.
And literally, no matter what skill set you have, there's something in that game for you. You can play as something no matter what. If you have no accuracy, use a flamethrower. Problem solved.
And then we're gonna close out our show. We're gonna talk about the PlayStation Vita.
Yes.
We don't know much about it yet because it's not really many things have been told to us. Well, we just got all the specifications for it. I believe today we got all the specifications for it. It is about 3.3 inches and 5.2 inches long and tall.
Mhm.
So it's a fairly sized, chunk of metal and plastic and silicon and tungsten and other random things.
Other elements.
Other elements. There's a rear-facing camera. There's a touchpad on the back that I don't know how cool it will be.
They've said pretty interesting things about how it's going to work. I guess most of it's going to be menu like navigation and stuff.
I think there's a few games that use it too.
Yeah, I
as,
think
like different in
the main reason they want it is so that it keeps you from crowding the screen.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like if
And
you
then
have to hit something, you
use
can hit it on the back.
The back
and-
of your fingers.
Yep.
And the Uncharted demo they were showing was very cool. How you use the back of the pad. You
Yeah.
swiped across, and your character would actually like swipe across the side of like a mountain.
Yeah,
It was pretty cool. They showed some pretty cool things.
that's Uncharted Golden Abyss, isn't it?
I don't remember. I think that's what it's
the
called.
name. Yeah.
But the power, you can power it with DC and USB. Hooray!
Whoa.
Most of these things that they've been giving us in technology don't allow you to use USB, which
I
is on
think-
every computer.
I think you can power up your PSP with USB, but not just by plugging it in. It's not that simple. You have to like go into your menu and then have it plugged up to your computer.
Can you do it? I'm assuming through a PS3 as well, because I think you can do that with the PSP.
Yeah,
you can charge it
I'm
through
pretty
it.
sure it still works that
Yeah.
same way.
It's got 6-axis motion, so you can tilt it in whatever way, kind of like that was in the controllers for the
PS3.
the PS3. It's got built-in GPS, which is only in the 3G Wi-Fi model. Mobile network, obviously, only in the Wi-Fi model. Battery life is about 3 to 5 hours playing games, 5 hours watching videos, 9 hours listening to music, and
Which is relatively short, but I mean, it's also so much power.
yeah, it's got so much power, and it takes about 2.5 hours to charge it. So that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, you
2.5
can always
hours.
play
For
plugged
the
in.
power of what it was, I believe it was only $299 fun euros. I don't really remember anything more about prices. Do you?
I don't. That sounds right, though.
If it loads, and it is Uncharted Golden Abyss is the name of the game. You were correct.
Yep.
But yeah, you've been listening to 90 terabytes of alternative gaming here on 90 FM.
It's WWSP, Stevens Point.
WWSP Stevens Point. If you really loved our show, if you didn't really love our show, we do have a Facebook page.
Yes.
And it is on
You can use
Facebook.
hate mail on it. You can do whatever you want.
Yep.
Express your opinion on the forum.
90 terabytes of alternative gaming. It's on Facebook. You can yell at us, make as many random assertions as you like.
You'll probably find more people do that than like it.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much all we got here for 9 terabytes of alternative gaming. Alternative gaming. This is Q here in the air chair, along with
Taylor and our guest.
Kelly.
You can come up with a cool name for yourself if you want.
Yeah.
Kelly works.
Yeah, I couldn't think of
Kelly
one for
works.
myself
Kelly
either.
works.
I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to 9 terabytes of alternative gaming. Coming up next is Sports Beat with a bunch of sports people. So
It's nowhere near as cool.
No,
it really
if
isn't.
you like video games and you hate sports, it's up to you if you want to listen to them.
In other words, if you're me, then
yeah.
But I'm gonna play the second song off the Veronica Falls album here, the self-titled Veronica Falls album, with their song I believe, Right Side of My Brain.
Yes.
I believe that is the second song on the album. Thank you for listening to 9 terabytes of alternative gaming here on 90 FM, your only alternative
for gaming.